Holy shitty to link us 7.
Oh no, the chat's in the wrong place.
Hi Linkus.
Yo!
How are you feeling?
Hi guys! It's great seeing y'all. Hello, hello! We're back!
Hi Linkus.
So I do not have to hear this loop over and over again. Let me start some just like normal Poggers music quickly. While I'm saying hello to everybody, because it is otherwise going to just loop forever. Desktop audio is not capturing right. It's weird. Oops, hold on. There we go. Hello, hello! Oh my god, why is that so weird sounding? Oh, it's because I have this on. Hold on. Bam. Bam. Here we go. Hello, everybody! Hi, everyone! Hello, hello! How are you guys doing today? It's great seeing you all! It is fantastic being back! It is amazing seeing y'all. Thank you, Maddie, for the 45 months. Thank you, AJ, for the 56. Thank you, Dur, for the 4 months. Thank you, Offline, for the 4 months. Thank you, Step, for the 14 months where you're streaming while I'm at work. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. Thank you, Suns, for the 82 months. Super close to the Switch, too, I know. Thank you, Joke, for the Prime sub. Thank you, Alex, for the 50. Thank you, Kanji, for the 66. Thank you, Dark Bandit, for the Tier 2, 73 months. Thank you, Filaroni, for this 43. And Shio for the 43. I'm missing a few. Thank you, everybody, so much. Hello, everybody. It is great being back and with a nice little randomizer. And, of course, it's going to be a baby seat as usual, Copium. Of course, always, right? Thank you, Maxar, for the 17. Jim for the 20. Murphy for the 27. Frogs for the 13. Cobra for the 62. Matter for the 6. Waitin for the 20. Thank you, everybody. Hello, hello. We're so back. How am I feeling? Actually, believe it or not, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm actually feeling pretty good right now. We haven't figured out all my health problems, but I'm feeling pretty good. Basically, I can tell things are not normal, but I'm feeling 85 to 90% normal. I ended up doing something. Last time, I went to the ER like 3 weeks ago. And after that time, I decided to try something that I read online that some people say can work. I fasted for a week. And it has made me feel so much better. It must have given my gut some time to heal or repair or do something. It has been so much better since then. It's not back to normal, but it has gone from I feel miserable all the time to just like a little bit. So it helped so much. It, like giving my body that week break right there of going on that diet, it helped a lot. So no, so I still had some, I had like a little bit of a nutrient drink, so it wasn't just 0 calories, but it was pretty much a fast. I had like 800 calories a day through 2 nutritional drinks. I got some nutrients, but pretty much I did like a liquid only diet, half fast, and it worked really well. So I feel a lot better, and things are feeling better. Not the normal, but better. And I hope it continues. And I will also say, we are pretty close to having all the answers. I will have my MRI in next week, and I'll have my colonoscopy in 3 weeks. So this month, we will finally figure everything out. So within the next 3 weeks, we'll have all the answers. We are almost done with all this bullshit back and forth. I can, like, see the end. It's near. So, yeah, hopefully they find good news and not worst case. But even if they find worst case, I literally mean this at this point after feeling, like, terrible for 2 months, Chad. Even if they come up and they're, like, autoimmune disease, which would be worst case probably for me. Honestly, I would honestly be happy if they say that because I can go on a plan for medication to, like, help the symptoms. You know what I mean? At this point, I'll have anything because, like, I just kind of am excited to find any way to, you know, solve what's happening in there. So we're almost there. But anyways, I'm not really going to talk about more. I'm feeling a lot better. Things are not perfect, but I'm feeling better. I have, like, energy to live, which is good, exciting. And we're close to the ending. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And yeah, and oh, last thing before we get into dropping everything, I will just say a quick major FU to health insurance because my doctor, the reason it took me so long to get these tests is because I've been fighting health insurance like crazy, because it sucks. They basically said, we need to give you an MRI. I said, great. I got scheduled for an MRI, and then the day before my MRI, my health insurance said, actually, that's not medically necessary. And then we fought them. And their response was, we can do a CT scan instead. Which, I gotta say one quick thing. If the health insurance company believes that there is nothing wrong, why would you approve the CT scan? I know why, because the CT is cheaper. That's literally it. That's the only thing. So I looked at it and I was like, the test I want to do has worse results with a CT scan, and the specific test I need has the most radiation, if you do it CT, out of any legal test. You get an average of 50 millisieverts if I were to do the CT, which I'm telling you, in case you don't know, let me just give you a comparison into why I don't want to do that. Just so you can get an idea of why there's no way I wanted to do that, and I've been fighting them on this MRI. One, the test is worse. Second of all, I'm not scared for a little bit of radiation if it's necessary. However, to give you a context into why 50 is so much, and why it is, like, actually so bad for you. Are you ready to hear this, chat? That would be the equivalent of 500 chest x-rays. 500. Imagine them doing 500 back-to-back chest x-rays. It's not a small amount I'm talking about here. It is the highest dose you can get out of any medical test. Because a CT is already like, okay, if it's medically necessary, do it. But this specific test that they would have to do on the small intestine has in between 50 to 80 millisieverts. It's like insane. There's no way I'm doing it. There's absolutely no way. So, after going back and forth with insurance for a long time, and after fighting them for 2 months, the conclusion is I will get my MRI and I'm paying all out of pocket. That's right. They are refusing to do it. So despite me paying $600 a month for health insurance, I am still having to spend out-of-pocket money because they will not cover the MRI. And there's no way I'm doing that CT. So God bless America. I'm glad I spent $600 a month on health insurance and they can still say, fuck you. So Drake's in the chat. So that being said, thank you, Cobra, for the 5 gifties and everybody for the resubs. I appreciate it. This is gonna be an expensive month for me. I appreciate it. Yeah, I got their discounted price for the MRI because they denied it, but their discounted price is still $1,400. So I can't say that I'm not getting scammed anyways, even if it's the discounted rate I'm getting, because it's $1,400 for a test. So I guess yay. But anyways, But anyways, that's enough. I'm not going to keep talking about health stuff, to be honest. Like I said, I don't really talk about health stuff. I just wanted to give you guys an update because you probably are like, what's happened? So to give you context, why I haven't streamed, I said I was going to come back to streaming and then disappeared for a month. Basically what happened was, I couldn't keep any solids down. I was vomiting like crazy and I had to go to the ER, and I spent 1 week without being able to eat food, and then I took another week to start slowly recovering. So I basically was been in bed for 2 weeks recovering. I feel better now, but I was extremely sick. So that's where I've been. But right now I feel pretty good actually, and I thought, you know, if I'm feeling pretty good, we should stream. So here I am, so don't worry. And like I said, we're close to getting all the answers. You know, I'm gonna get an MRI, I'm gonna get an endoscopy, colonoscopy, and that will show all of it. If it's good news, we'll get them. If it's bad news, we'll get them. But no matter what, we're close to figuring it out. So honestly, I'm just happy at this point. So it's almost over. And thankfully, this is gonna sound weird for me to say, but I am so happy that all the tests will take place before the Switch 2. Which brings us into the good news. Chat, I went crazy, okay? We are locked in on that Switch 2. I went all in. Because I have so much content prepared for the Switch 2 launch. Because not only do I want to stream the new Mario Party, the new Donkey Kong, but I want to make videos covering all the glitches in Breath of the Wild that still works. I want to test all the glitches in Tears of the Kingdom that still works. I want to check out the Wind Waker port for the Switch 2 on Nintendo Switch Online. I want to do a speedrun on all of them. I want to test out all of them. There is so much exciting content in the Switch 2 that we are so close to. It's going to be so exciting and such a good time. I cannot wait. And I am very confident in getting my pre-order because I was so paranoid because I've heard so many horror stories of getting pre-orders super hard in America and that they can cancel pre-orders and F you. So, I have one pre-order from Target, one pre-order from Walmart, and one pre-order from Best Buy. So one has to show up and on time. So no matter what, I will stream on the day of launch. And then one is going to Maisie, the second one that shows up goes to Maisie, and the third one goes to Homebrew, because there's gonna be a Homebrew and we all know it. So I am ready for all situations. I'll have one Homebrew, one for Maisie, and one for me. I am set. So it's gonna be a good time. You shouldn't get too loud. I actually shouldn't get too loud. I'm at the end of recovering from having a cold. I've been having a cold for the past week. Business expense, yeah. Dude, speaking of which, just a quick little random thing I gotta say. I never realized how rigged the US... Okay, I knew that the US was rigged, but like... The amount of write-offs you can do in America when you get a house is crazy. I had so many more savings than I thought this year. Because I was like, hey, I only lived in my house for 6 months this year. And he was like, still send me all the forms. And I did that. Dude, there was thousands of dollars in savings. My man just had so much. It's crazy how much they like set up like success if you are a buyer, not a renter. It was like all the interest to the loan, all the home, like the home insurance, the office, the property tax. It's crazy. It's so OP compared to Sweden. It's crazy. I was very happily surprised by that. It felt pretty good. But anyways, that being said, enough talking about boring adult stuff. Let's talk about the most important things in life. Wind Waker. Today, we are doing a Wind Waker randomizer. Today, we're doing a Wind Waker randomizer. We're gonna do a fun one. This is standard tournament rules, plus I made it swordless because I know you guys like to see it. We're gonna have 134 locations, and we're gonna see how fast we'll be able to beat this scene. Now, I'm going to say one thing, and I'm gonna ask this as nicely as I can from chat. Can you guys promise to not call Baby Seed at the start? Because every time you jinx me, every time we get a few good items at the start, you guys say baby seed, and then I go for 50 checks without another item. So can we all just agree to not call baby seed until we're at least halfway through? Okay, I'm assuming there's a lot of typos. You guys try to do nodders, but it auto-corrected to nopers. I'm assuming that's what's happening right now. So, thank you guys for agreeing. Thank you guys for the deal. I appreciate you. Anyways. But yeah, anyways, yeah, I think I'm ready to jump into it. Let me speedrun this quickly, because I don't want to donut wall completely. Espresso, T-Spada, Jake, Zacko, Laika, Grupa, Branko, Cobra, MC, Ethereal, Ginoko, Luna, Dan, Davstar, Trouble, Zacko, Bearplay, Gloomy, thank you so much, everybody, for the resubs and the bits. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the support. I'm glad to be back. Anyways, that being said, let's get back to it. Oh, yeah, also, one last thing, by the way, I need to say to chat, in case I missed this. Chat, if you see my wife, Maisie, in the chat, you have to spam scream to her to get out. Because she's visiting her parents for the first time in a year. And she promised that she was going to spend time with her family. But I'm scared that she's going to see that we're live and she's going to try and not spend time with her family, but instead be in the chat. All right? So if she comes in here, we get her out. We are going to make sure that she doesn't fly across the country to spend time with her family to then sit in her living room to watch our stream. So you just got to point at the door because she needs family time. We're going to save this marriage together, chat, okay? We need to work together as a team. But she's our friend, don't worry. Anytime I need to say something rude, I just make sure to add a feels good man at the end. Trust me, great relationship advice. If you're ever gonna bring like bad info to your spouse, just do it over Discord so you can throw in a feels okay man at the end, because it really solves everything over. Like, if you just say, we need to talk, then you're gonna be like, oh crap, what's wrong? But if you say we need to talk feels good man, you're gonna think, oh, this is okay. So just make sure when you say get out to write a happy emote at the end, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna be like, no problem, trust me. And if they still get mad, buy V-Bucks. Trust me, all the ladies love V-Bucks. That is like 10 times better than any roses or flowers. Don't listen to what people tell you. All women want are V-Bucks. I'm telling you right now. If your spouse ever gets mad, just get some V-Bucks. It's that simple. What if you're single? Well, then you should start showing that you like the person by giving them V-Bucks. All right, anyways, let's get into this chat in 3, 2, 1. Pepperoni pizza. Let's do this. Ready for this randomizer? When will my next Skyward Sword randomizer be? Chat, seriously? I just came back to streaming and you're trying to chase me off. Are you kidding me? Day 1 and you want me to, like, it's like you want me to have nightmares. Like, what the hell? Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. All right, next question, okay? The idea of Groose, okay? Okay, the idea of Groose actually sounds pretty good. But the idea of motion controls is about the value of this item I just got. It says it's joy. Nintendo says it's immersive. It ain't. Anyways, let's get to this other location over here. Also, audio, everything is looking good, chat. I feel like it's been so long since I've streamed. It feels good to be back. The only thing that I'm not happy with right now is that it's really humid outside, so it's humid inside as well. and I don't like the feeling of sweaty hands. Linkus, when are you going to do another Twilight Princess randomizer? Okay, now... I hate that guy. I'm telling you, I literally should set up a camera outside my house. Before I answer the TP question, I gotta say, I want to become a snitch. There is a house, and I know who the guy is. There's a guy who is obsessed with his Mustang. I'm telling you, he thinks he's cool. He is not. He owns a default spec, Skullhammer, not that bad, a default spec Mustang. He lives 4 homes down. And I'm telling you, he is so obsessed with his Mustang. Every single day, every day almost. It's like 3 times a week. He opens his garage, takes his Mustang out, and hand cleans it. It's like his baby. This Mustang, it's like his life depends on it. My man is cleaning that Mustang more frequently than I shower, which should be more like a roast about that I don't shower enough, but sadly it's not. He's just that obsessed with his Mustang. It's bad. But that's not my problem, okay? If you want to make love to your Mustang, that's on you, buddy. But where my problem lays is that he will probably both. Okay, listen, we're not going to talk about my shower routine. Continuing, this is what he does every time. He drives out of his driveway, and then when he's in our neighborhood, he will floor and rev up the engine so loud. And that's not the only problem. He's a degen. So he will do this at like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Around the day, around the clock, don't matter. He revs his engine like crazy right outside. And I literally want to just like set up a camera and record him doing it so I can report it. I never wanted to be that guy to report to HOA, but I want to do it because he does it every day. There comes a point where I feel like you're no longer a Karen for filing a noise complaint. Because there's a difference of like just being annoying versus like, come on, this is over the top. Like, we gotta get him at some point. Yeah, you saw the 100 bits. Aw, shit. Here we go again. That's how I feel every time he starts his car. I'm a car person, and that is absolutely screwed. I agree. I have no problem with him being a car person, washing his car, loving his car. But, like, if you're going to, like, being cool and rev it, like, don't do it right by all the homes. Like, wait 20 seconds when you're by the road. It's not like we're deep in a neighborhood and you're gonna take a 5-minute drive, you know?
Kalu Kalimpu or whatever.
What are your thoughts on the new DK game and the prices and Elden Ring on Switch 2? Okay. I don't know if my takes are about to be hot here or not hot, but here are my takes when it comes to Nintendo prices. Okay. Anyone who has a problem with the Switch 2 prices, specifically the console, I think they're wrong. If you look at every complaint during the Switch, it is literally just the Switch is a great console, but it's under-spec'd. Nintendo did everything that we have been complaining about. I'm sorry, but Nintendo actually listened. That's what they finally did. Everyone's complaint is that it's underpowered. They listen to the community for once in their life. They never listen. So they finally listened and said, fine, we'll give you better specs, but it's gonna cost more. So anyone who has a problem that the console is more expensive, I'm sorry, but at that point, I think you're wrong, because that is what everyone has complained about this whole time. So, and I don't think it's fair to just be like, they could sell the console at a loss. And that's unreasonable, in my opinion, like, as a full-time strat. So I don't have any problem with it. Now, when it comes to the game prices, I will say that I am kind of an in-the-middle zone when it comes to that. So, here's my opinion on it. I don't have a problem with some Nintendo games having a higher price for one reason. Nintendo is the only company that still does a lot of free updates, free DLC, no pay to win, no bullshit microtransactions, and they haven't raised their prices in so long. So I don't have a problem with them raising the prices somewhat. The only thing that I'm scared about is that it will set a new standard for all games. Here's what I mean. I don't have a problem spending $70 on a brand new Zelda game. What I do have a problem with is that now when the prices are $70, $80, games that should not be $70 or $80 will end up being 70 or 80 bucks. Because and also, I think I want to wait to see what happens. Because Nintendo's statement on specifically why Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart World is $80 is because it's so big. So it sounds like their logic is instead of doing paid DLC, we kind of see this one game $80 as a deluxe edition. So as long as it's not the norm where all games are $80, I will not have a problem with it. I will say that I think $70 is a fine new price. $10 bump from $60, I have no problem with it. $80, I will only be okay with it if it is like, for example, let's say they make a new Animal Crossing, and they say, we're planning to release the equivalent of DLC for 2 years, but instead of doing a deluxe edition, also that's an amazing item. Leaf is like one of the best items. If they pretty much do it as like, hey, we see it as a game and DLC, so it's like a deluxe, I'm okay with it. So I'm gonna say when it comes to the prices of the games, I'm gonna hold off on being mad. Right now, I am skeptic about it. If the price stays 60 bucks for games that should be 60 and 70 games for dollars that should be 70, that's fine. But if the new standard is just 80 for all new games, I will not be as happy. Does that make sense? So that's my take. So like, let's say Metroid Prime 4 comes out. Clearly, they will not have plans for DLC for a game like that, right? Like, that should not have DLC. That would just be a one game and it's done. If that's 80 bucks, I will feel like that's too much. Straight up. Because I will only be okay with $80 if it feels like it's the equivalent of a deluxe edition. You know what I mean? Where it's a game and DLC, but it's priced as one. Because $70 for a new price is kind of okay. 80 bucks, that feels steep. You gotta include the equivalent of what would be basically free DLC in the 10. So, I'm holding off on my mad takes until we get some answers there. The reason I say that I'm okay with 70 bucks but not $80 is because I've seen a lot of people online want to do the take that according to inflation, $60 when they set $60 as a standard should be $80 now. I have one counterpoint to that. The reason I say I'm okay with the increase of 70 but not 80 is because even if that makes up for inflation, it doesn't make up for people's wages. $70 increase, so $10 from when they set $60 back 20 years ago, kind of matches up somewhat with people's wages. 80 bucks don't. Because 80 is exactly what inflation would be. So we're just paying way more, okay? But 70 bucks, it's kind of halfway, so you're partially following inflation, but not exactly one-to-one. That is why I'm kind of okay with it. Because it's like, okay. Like, it's more, but it's also like, I'm not getting scammed here. Anyways, so that's my take on it. Thank you, Lissy, by the way, for the 13-month resub. Thank you, Ventana, for the tier 3, 83 months. Kalimpa. Thank you. But yeah, so we'll see. The one good thing I will say, though, that will make people feel better, and I will say this only about Nintendo, not about other companies. Nintendo hates content creators, but in terms of quality of games and game prices, they actually do people right. And Nintendo also does right for their employees, unlike almost all other game companies. A lot is it due to Japanese laws, but they still do it, right? So I will just say that, like, if they do raise the price to 70, 80 bucks, I can promise you it's not going to be another increase for the next console. Like, if they do this bump, it's going to be this price for probably at least 10, 15 years until they make another change again. Also, still not Baby Seed. Okay, I know we got two good items, the Leaf and the Grappling Hook, but it's still too early to call Baby Seed, okay? It's still too early.
Well, glad to be here.
Speaking of which, let me check what dungeons we have. So we don't have Dragon Roost, so Grappling Hook is actually useless.
Oh,
so we don't have Dragon Roost, and we don't have Earth Temple. Okay. Ooh, that means we have Wind Temple, though. Okay. All right. Wait, I forgot I did this. Oh, I forgot I added this because Chad asked me to. I added Sploosh Kaboom because chat always wants me to do Sploosh Kaboom. Even though it's not part of standard settings, we always do Sploosh. I have to go and do Sploosh Kaboom. I completely forgot. Please let me be lucky, dude. Yeah, for the Europeans, this shouldn't be that long of a rando. And because I'm coming back from a cold, I didn't want to do super long streams my comeback stream. So this should actually be pretty EU-friendly stream. This should be about 2.5 hours of a seed. So this will actually be a really good stream for NA and EU. All right, let's see what happens. Please, let me get some good kabooms. Hold.
Love upon you, young Linkus 7 less than 3.
Come on, the little guy. The little guy. The little guy. Come on, right in the middle? Dude, what happened to social distancing?
Welcome back.
Dude, I might as well throw this. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Wait, I have to think. Wait, what? Wait. Oh my god, it's a 3 and a 4. I'm stupid. Oh no. Okay, I should blame that one on me. That's me being Pepega. I am sorry. I had a brain fart. That's my bad. Oh, the hardest one first? Hold. Surely we can't get screwed out on this attempt. Okay, one win, we'll take it. Okay, actual good item. That's sick. Okay, we just need to win under 20 now. Can't win under 20. Ooh, can I still win this? Can I get lucky? Nope. I have one more attempt. I have to come back because I'm poor. Uh-oh.
No. Long time since I caught you live. Life too busy and you usually live too late for me. Glad I'm catching Sploosh Kaboom live.
Glad I was able to catch Sploosh Kaboom live. Don't mind, I'm glad you're able to catch it too. You know it's my favorite. I have a weak spot for Sploosh Kaboom. It's my absolute favorite. If there was just one thing I could imagine that I could do for the rest of my life if I were to retire, it would be to, like, you know these old people who play, like, board games every day in their retirement homes? That would be me, but with Sploosh Kaboom. There is nothing that would bring me more joy. I gotta do a reload and I gotta do it one more time. It's 2 more items, so it's too good to skip out on, but man, am I losing time here. someone should mod Wind Waker so every puzzle in every dungeon is just Sploosh Kaboom. Really. That's your dream mod. Of all the things you could imagine. Beta being restored. Custom dungeons being added. What you would really want is Sploosh Kaboom for every puzzle. That's the dream. The dream. Okay, this is 40 rupees. Surely that will be enough. That's 4 attempts. Surely that's enough, right? Thank you, Pilot, for the 20 months. All right, here we go.
Splish, 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 splish. Kaboom! 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 Kaboom!
Okay.
Splish, 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 splish.
It's okay. This is the one. I can feel it. This. Dude. I'm not feeling it, Chad. I'm not feeling it. Please. Come on, dude. I had a 50% chance. We might have to come back, Chad. Oh, wait. Okay, it's a win. We'll take it. It's not under 20, but it's a win. And that means we get 200 rupees, meaning we can actually... Wait. Oh my god, that's the item we got. Okay. Bad and good news. I forgot that it's not the rupees from beating the game. So, good and bad news. Bad news, there was no good item from winning twice. Good news, we have enough rupees to keep trying over and over. Why? The second we get rupees, we immediately win under 20. Okay. Well, let's see what we get. Here we go. Is that four Tingle statues? Well, maybe Tingle will have a good item later. I ended up talking to Maggie, right? I didn't just jump down and just skip it, right? I feel like I talked to Maggie before I went down. Well, maybe Tingle is required. We have 4 out of 5. Well, at least we can get all the item checks here because we got both the grappling hook and the power bracelets. Very calm. Yo, Miwu, thank you for the 11 months. That sounded so weeb. Miwu. Anyways, thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate it.
1 year.
Miwu, Sean. Thank you for the 11 months. And thank you, Linkle, for the 1 year. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. We need to find a bottle so we can save Grandma. You know what? Sure. The second we find a bottle, I will go and save Grandma for you guys. I'll make it my priority. I think you hands for the Prime Game 33 months. Yeah, we do need to make it up to Grandma, because I did end up stealing her life savings, which this time ended up being a joy pendant. Because what will she do without her joy pendant? Oh boy. Triforce charts allure. Grandma has no joy anymore, exactly. We stole all of it. This is just like main locations. It's a standard default one. Should be about 2 to 2.5 hours of a seed. I didn't want to do too long of a stream. Like I said, I am just like, today's the first day where, because I've been having a cold, and this is the first day where my throat feels like mostly fine. Like, it's a little bit scratchy, but it's not like, you know, icky. Can't find the word. Stuffed.
Linkus fun fact number 99.
Filled.
Screen time limits couldn't stop Linkus. He
Milkshakey.
played video games before his parents got home and leave enough time for the
Fried
TV to cool off
potatoes.
so he wouldn't get caught.
One of those. Let's go with slimy. Can you include treasure charts? So whenever I do a like celebration or a special event stream, I will do max settings, and I do them every now and then, maybe once or twice a year usually. Those include treasure charts, and it's usually like in between 7 hours is the shortest I've ever seen it be, and it can often go up to about 11 hours. That has a huge range depending on your luck. So there is not really a like set time for those, because they can really screw you over if you get bad luck. Linkus, what do you think about all 3D classic Zelda randomizer all in one, like OTMM, but add Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword if someone is making one? I mean, it could make for a one-time off fun challenge, but the thing for me is like, it can be a fun challenge, but I often find that the multi-game randomizers, maybe people don't agree, maybe it's just me as a streamer, but as a viewer it doesn't feel that way, and it's just the one playing. But to me, when it comes to multi-world, multi-game Zelda randomizers, it starts to get really overwhelming in a not fun way. And it takes so many days that it almost becomes like, oh, what haven't I done? Or like, oh, I gotta switch game and go 5-10 minutes to get this one location in this one game and then switch to the other one. So those, if it's fun, is so dependent for me upon how lucky you get. Like, if you get unlucky, they're more tedious than they are fun challenge. But if you get a bit lucky, then it can be fun. So, but if someone were to make one with all the 3D Zeldas, I would probably be crazy enough to do it one time. So I would probably then do it one time and then never again. That's what I did with the OT Majora's Mask one. I did one. It was fun as a one-time crazy thing, but I don't think I would do it again because it's so overwhelming. Linkus, what do you think about Wind Waker on the Nintendo Switch Online? I'm actually super excited. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the speedruns too, because there's like the time, the saved time you're gonna have on loading zones and stuff is gonna be crazy, I think. Do you know what I am really curious about though? So let me tell you guys a really cool glitch that you can do. That is something I'm really, really looking forward to seeing. There is a glitch where, so you know in Ocarina, maybe you don't, but so in Ocarina of Time, have you ever seen how you can do a lot of boss skips or a lot of crazy skips by going into unloaded rooms? So for example, if you want to do a boss key skip in Ocarina of Time, you might clip out of bounds and then jump into the loading zone late into the dungeon, because the other rooms exist and are always loaded. The textures are just not loaded. So if you clip out of bounds, you can access later game areas and dungeons. So Wind Waker does actually unload dungeons, or like rooms that you have not opened yet in dungeons. But what was discovered was that there is actually an exception to that. Chests still have their collision loaded, even when out of bounds in rooms you have not unlocked yet. Oops. So believe it or not, you can actually go out of bounds and land on invisible chests. However, it's not useful at the current moment in time because what are you gonna do? Land on invisible chests and then the rest of the room is obsolete? But here's where I'm saying it could be good if the emulation is bad. So, if you on console go on top of an invisible chest in a room you have not gotten to yet because maybe it has locked bars or maybe it has a key that you don't have, if you play Song of Passing or a special song, the game will crash. But on emulator, if you do that, the game is going to void out to black. It will give you a half a minute long black screen, and then it will finally show back up again, and it will have loaded the room that you're standing on top of the chest. So if we get really lucky with how the emulation is treated on the Nintendo Switch Online version of Wind Waker, if the emulation is done just right, that Nintendo does, we might be able to finally do Makar skip in Wind Temple. By going to Wind Temple, clipping out of bounds, leafing on top of an invisible chest, and then playing Song of Passing, waiting 30 seconds, and then respawn. So we might get really lucky and have the emulation done just poorly enough where it could be plausible. So we'll see what they do, but there is a small chance that we could do some exclusive Nintendo Switch Online glitches if we get lucky. But it all comes down to how they treat the emulation. But yeah, hopefully it could be good. But if they have perfect emulation, we're screwed. It really just depends on how the emulator handles its crashing manager and its checks. My car. I promise you, Nintendo is not going to patch glitches for the Nintendo Switch Online version. It's just going to be a straight-up port with an emulator. Okay, didn't get a good item here, but let's see if we got anything else that was good. Ooh, Cabana Deed. Okay, so we did get the Cabana Deed from one of the stored items. And we got Earth God Lyrics. Not that great. Okay. Well, still some progress. We'll take it. Thank you, Saira, for the 77-month resub. I appreciate it. And thank you, Boss, for the sub. Appreciate it. Wait, I don't want to warp. I want to go to Bombile. To mark off these locations. Yeah, I think that the Switch version for Wind Waker is either just going to be a little bit better or a lot better than this version. I don't see a way that it could have downsides. The only way that the Switch version could have downsides for Wind Waker speedruns would be maybe if you were to want to do some special categories that would actually take advantage of memory corruption. Because memory corruption, which is not really used anymore for main categories, but that could theoretically have weird effects and will require a lot of testing, because memory corruption does not behave properly on an emulator, since you're abusing the system's RAM. Yeah, I stream through a capture card. Really? I heard that it's way harder to do super swims than some other glitches on the Switch 2 version. I would be shocked if it actually is, though. I think that's more the controller, but what do I know? One thing that I am scared about is I have heard some reports that apparently some things are changed on the Breath of the Wild version of the Switch 2. So we'll see how that works, because if the Switch 2 version of Breath of the Wild speedruns would, in theory, be a lot faster. However, if they did patch a lot of the glitches, then it might not be, so we'll find out, I guess, once we all get our hands on it. No notches will be brutal. No, you can still play with a GameCube controller for the Switch version of Wind Waker. And people are saying that apparently the dongle for playing with your original game controller should also still work, so I'll be able to use the same controller. Wind bombs are still working, that's good. I will tell you right now, I don't like that people are testing the glitches in front of Nintendo employees at the demos that are out right now. Because let me tell you guys a quick little story in case you don't know. Back in, what would that be, 2013. About 2 months before the Wii U came out, Nintendo had demos at certain gaming conventions for Wind Waker HD, and storage and super swimming still worked in those versions. But a lot of people, and the reason we know this is because a lot of people tried to get storage in Super Swim on the demos. And they kept doing it in front of the Nintendo employees, and also some of them crashed the games in front of Nintendo employees. And 2 months later, when we got Wind Waker HD, they were patched. So I am not happy that people are not waiting to test what glitches are working in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for the Switch 2 until the game's out, because I'm scared that Nintendo is seeing all these videos and they're higher chance of being patched. So I really hope we're not going to have a repeat of Wind Waker HD all over again where the glitches work, because people test them in front of Nintendo themselves and then go, uh-oh, and then they patch it. So people, please stop. Don't be a snitch. That's all I'm asking, man. Yeah, we have actually found, people have actually found, I remember this because I was really into it a while ago. People actually ended up finding 2 demo versions of Wind Waker HD, but they were like released right around the same time when the game was coming out. They were more like kiosks rather than beforehand. And they did have super swimming patched. So we've never found the version that they originally used for the original conventions where storage was in the game. So all the 2 kiosk versions that have been found for Wind Waker HD are so late in development, they don't have storage. But it would be really cool to have the version where we have the improvements of HD, but still storage. Did I get the hook shot? I did. Cool. Okay. I should be able to do this fast trick. I will remind everybody, since there is no way to homebrew your Switch right now, by the way, or there will be no way to homebrew the Switch 2 for probably a while. Please, 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 chat. If you're ever interested in speedrunning or doing glitches, don't be that guy that don't turn off auto updates in your settings when you get the new console. I cannot tell you as a content creator how many times in every one of my videos when I made Tears of the Kingdom glitch videos, told people to turn off auto updates. And then the next video would drop and you would see hundreds of comments of people being like, I forgot to turn off auto updates. So I'm telling you, don't try and remember to do it once a patch comes out. Do it before the patch comes out. Don't be that guy who remembers it because you lost out. Because without homebrew, there will be no easy way to down patch. And you might be like, well, what if I have a physical copy? As it stands, ooh, the Tingle statue, we have all of them. As it stands for the Switch 1, and I don't think Nintendo's gonna do it any differently, even with a physical cart, you can't down patch. You have to literally factory reset your Switch. Yeah, it's a difference if, like, the update brings a bunch of performance improvements or good improvements or content. I understand that people want to be like, well, I'm a casual, so I'd rather get content instead of having a glitch patch. All you get from updating Tears of the Kingdom is you lose out on a bunch of really cool movement tricks and duping glitches, and in return, you get a phone app. That's right. That's all you get. You can get a few free fish and, like, random terrible items by connecting your phone app, the Nintendo, my Nintendo phone app, to Tears of the Kingdom. I'm telling you, no one's ever used that. And the items would also only be useful for the first, like, 5-10 minutes. Unless you, I guess, yeah, unless you guys use love fish. If you're here and you're like, man, I love fish and I can't get enough of fishing and I fished up all the fish in my game, then maybe the app's for you. But for everyone else, don't do. Greetings from Greece. I hope you're doing well. Well, greetings from the great state of Texas. And thank you, I'm doing well. I hope you're doing good as well. Yo, we got our first Triforce piece. Oh my god, first Triforce piece 40 minutes in? I forgot about that. I kind of feel like I've been unlucky that I haven't gotten a sword yet, but I forgot. We not only have not gotten a bow or a sword, we also haven't gotten Triforce pieces. All the key items we need to beat the game, we have 0 progress on. But let me guess, still Baby Seed? Yeah, still Baby Seed, huh? Pictobox, okay. That gives us some windfall locations, at least. Linkus, if this seed is too hard, you can hold my hand. That is not what I would want to hold. All right, let's go to... Let's go to Windfall quickly. And then after that, we'll go to our first dungeon. We'll go to Forbidden Woods. We can actually do a full clear there, and hopefully we can finally find some swords and some other good items. Oh yeah, wait, I can also do the letter while I'm here. Greetings from Earth. Holy shit. I wish I could visit there sometime. I think my biggest blunder in Greetings From that I had ever seen, that I ever did, was... Okay, I'm gonna come clean on something. I think it makes sense if you take into consideration that I'm Swedish. My geography skills are pretty good when it comes to Europe. But when it comes to the Americas, it's bad. Like, it's bad. Obviously, I know where, like, America, Mexico, and Canada is, but South America... I pretty much just knew, like, Brazil. You know, like, they might have slightly gone... What about Africa? I actually would know Africa better than South America. Not amazing, but I would know Africa better than South America. But, like, I did not know it well. And there was one time when I started streaming where someone who was from Chile ended up typoing it as chili. And I thought that that was the actual name for the country for so long that anytime someone wrote greetings from Chile, I thought that they typoed it and they were intending to say chili. So anytime I read it for like the next 2 years, I was just nice and I would autocorrect it. So if someone said greetings from Chile, I would read it out loud as greetings from Chile. Because I was so confident that the name was Chili. And also, when I looked at it on Google Maps and clarify, it didn't say Chile. Like, I just looked at a map on it and I saw the shape. It kind of looked like a chili. So I thought that was the idea of the name. It's like, oh, it's named Chili because the kind of shape... The shape's kind of like a chili. So that felt like the absolute biggest pepega of all time when I found out that it was not called chili. But I don't know. I used to feel really embarrassed about my geography skills until, no offense, I met Americans. Because even with my limited knowledge in geography, I've realized that I'm basically an expert. Because I've realized that NA education versus what I was comparing to, I'm pretty good. Hey, that's offensive. Listen, it is, I don't feel bad. Do you want to know what the most common question I have gotten from is when people hear that I'm from Sweden? They ask if we have polar bears. I shit you not. Almost every single time. Hey, a sword. They're like, have you ever seen a polar bear? And it's like... It's like IKEA and polar bears. That's what I hear. It's like, oh, Swedish meatballs, IKEA, and polar bears. And it's like, yeah, those are the 3 things that Sweden is known for. But have you, do they? No. I've seen a lot of moose, though. We got so much moose. We got moose everywhere. If you ever go to Sweden and you buy some merchandise to represent Sweden, they're all moose. Plenty of those. Also, we finally found a sword, though, which is pretty good. Americans always mix up Swedish with Swiss. That is true. My hairdresser that I have gone to, I stopped correcting her because it was, like, impossible. I told her that I was from Sweden, and she would always say Switzerland back to me. And at the start, I would correct her by saying Sweden, and I could tell that she was embarrassed. And every time I talk about where I'm from, I say Sweden, but every time she talks back to me, she says, oh, how's your family in Switzerland? But I feel too embarrassed to correct her anymore. I just given up. I just say, good. Like, I just don't have it in my heart anymore to just be like, hey, actually. I just can't do it, man. All right, you know what? Before we go to Forest Haven, let's just quickly go to Tingle Isle. We got those pieces so quickly. I have to check it out. Oh man, okay. Actually pretty convenient. All right, let's see what we get. Wait, what was that? I was looking at the other screen. Crap, what did I get? Oh, the mirror shield. Nice. Sorry, I was typing something in. Sorry, I was taking a note. Ah. All right, let's go to our first dungeon. Okay, and also let me click off. I did the big one. At what point can we accept that this is a baby seed? Listen, I still have no bows. I'm still missing 3 Triforce pieces, and I have 1 sword, okay? If I end up getting, like, quick arrows or quick sword upgrades now or anything like that, then maybe. But right now, nah, man. Let me baby seed, man. Come on. Hey, you already got 1/20th joy pendant. That's true. Only 19 more, Copium. How is it that 2 people at the exact same time said XDD, all lower cap? Oh boy, what did I just start? Also, I am hungry. Are you guys also starving? I feel like today is a good pizza day. What do you think, Chad? Is today a pizza day? I feel like it is. A barbecue bacon burger day. I miss burgers so much. Burgers is one of those foods that I can't really have. I feel really bad. It's like, I can't really have a lot of red meat. It's like my biggest L with these things. Like, to feel okay, I just can't do a lot of red meat. It's too hard to digest for me right now. I miss them so much. I can have turkey burgers or chicken burgers. Sorry. Sorry, Americans. I can have chicken sandwiches and turkey sandwiches, but I can't have like a proper meat burger. Could you have bison? I don't know about that. You can have a chicken sandwich but not a chicken burger. Oh no, I was just making a joke because like, if you go to Europe and you go to a burger place, they will have hamburgers and chicken burgers, and it will be the same thing, but you'll have a chicken patty instead of a burger, like a, you know, like a meat patty. But specifically for some reason, NA said screw that standard, and if it's not made out of like ground beef, they switch it to calling it a sandwich. So if you go to a burger place and they have an identical burger with a chicken patty or a meat patty, they just say, nah, the one is called a sandwich and the other one's called a burger. So that's why I meme corrected it.
First time at Chick-fil-A, I asked for a chicken burger and they stared at me blankly. Only
Wait, Canada does it right? Wait, what? Wait, are we having a rare Canadian W here? Wait, Canada does it right? Are you serious right now? Really? Holy shit, we finally found a W. It took so long, dude. That is so good, ain't it? That's pretty good, eh? Holy shit. Dude, you gotta take the W's when you find them. Also, great seeing you again, Spiff. Astral, dude, ever since that one Twitter video, I don't know anymore, man. It's hard. It's hard. Dude, me and Spiff go way back. Trust me. We hang out in DMs like almost every single day because I love Freddy Fazbear. So we discuss we talk about like the textures and the audio sound effects and the visuals and the experiences and the life lessons that we've learned from Freddy like every day. No, but Chad, do you want to know something that made me feel like really like I am like, I don't feel like I am an old school creator because I started so young. So I am about the same age as a lot of other creators, or now I'm like slightly older than a lot of other creators, but not by a lot, right? So age-wise, I don't feel old. But I feel old because I started content creation so early. Because I started content creation in 2010. And I started speedrunning in 2013. And I remember when I went to Ludwig's event, right? He did, you know, his Fast 50 event. And I met a bunch of creators there that like, you know, like Spiff. And I talked to a lot of them. It makes me feel old. I can't remember who it was. It was, oh, who was it? Dark Soul speedrunner. Dark Soul speedrunner. What's his name? I'm having a brain fart. Anyways, doesn't matter. Aggie, thank you. I met Aggie. Thank you. Anyways, I was talking to Aggie, and I walked up because I love Aggie's stream. So I went up, and I was like, oh, I'm going to introduce myself. And before I even had a chance to say anything, because I don't chat a lot in Aggie's stream, but I love his content. I lurk there all the time. He was like, yo, Linkus, what's up? And I was like, hey, man. And he was like, I love your content. And I was like, that's awesome. And he was like, yeah, I used to watch you all the time back in like 2015. And I don't know why, but it just made me feel so old to be like, man, that's 10 years ago. And a lot of these creators I walked up to another creator, and he was like, man, I used to watch you all the time when Barry Skip was found in 2017. And I was like, man, I feel old. Because, like, most of the comments, like, it doesn't take it in a bad way or anything, but it wasn't like, they didn't come up and they're like, oh, I watch your content still, you know? It was like, and I get life changes, things are busy, you know, whatever, speedrunning, like, most people don't stick around for as long as I have. But it just still made me feel so old that almost everyone was like, oh, yeah, I used to watch you 10 years ago. Yeah, I used to watch you 8 years ago. It just made me feel so old to constantly be like, yep, still here. Yeah, like, I'm still going up there doing this Wind Waker speedrun, and all of these people are like, I'm so looking forward to it. I used to watch it all the time 10 years ago. And it's like, yep, still around, because there's not many people left that are doing speedrunning, you know, that's been doing it for so long. Because I'm coming up on 12 years of Wind Waker now. Like, I need to get a life, man. Heroes. Okay, we're finally starting to see. So this is the items we want to see. Triforce, Hero's Bow, and Sword. These are the good items. Barry Skip was 2017, I know, right? Feels old, doesn't it? Yes, if you were around back then. It also, another thing that I always remember that has changed so much is if I go and lurk in like CFG's chat, CFG's stream is very chill if anyone has watched it. He's very down to earth, super chill, awesome guy. And his audience loves that kind of content. And anytime I go in there, often there ends up being a conversation about like me, right? Like I join and people are like Linkus, and there's some people like, who's Linkus? And then there's this awkward thing where I don't know what to do because people start talking about me and I'm like, I don't want people to talk. I don't like when people come in and talk about other creators, you know, like in a weird way. And that, you know, so that makes me feel comfortable because I don't want it to feel like, hey, I'm coming in a chat and I'm making things about me, because I don't want to do that, right? But if viewers do it, it's like it puts me in a weird situation where it's like, what do I do? Because I don't really want to be like, hey guys, please stop. But because I feel like that's rude. So all I can do is just kind of just sit there quietly and just not say anything and hope it passes by not saying anything. But anyways, I also realized, because there's a lot of those viewers, CFG viewers, that came from OT to watch my stream back in 2017. And they watched my stream during this like barrier skip hype, and then they haven't watched my stream now in 8 years. So their impression of me is like 8 years old. And I've seen so many discussions. Or when CFG did Wind Waker randomizers there for a while, he was doing a bunch of randomizers, and there was so many discussions about me in his chat when I was lurking, and I wasn't saying anything. And it makes me realize that, like, man, was I young back then, because a lot of the conversations are like, yeah, I watched Linkus back when Barrier Skip was found, but I couldn't take his stream because he was so over energetic, and he said poggies, and he said OMG, and he said Craigasm all the time, and like all these emotes, and his whole like thing was just emote. All he did was speak in emotes every word, and I still do it somewhat, but like I think back then, and I'm like, my god, were we cringe back then? Because, you know, I was like a 18-year-old going just all out Twitch, and we were just talking all emotes. Another sword, what a good dungeon. You know, it was just all it was just all emotes and just like cringe. It was just so cringe. I can't look back anymore. It just feels cringe looking back to how I was as an 18-year-old. But I'm now old enough where like people can still have that impression because we were around back then. I do not mean that as a flex. I mean that sincerely. I promise you, that is not like an offhanded flex where I'm trying to be like, oh, look at me, but I'm actually trying to flex. I mean it like, I think it's disrespectful anytime someone, like if someone, I love Point Pro. I've met him in person probably 20, 30 times. We used to meet up all the time because we used to live together. We used to go to the movies together. If someone comes in my chat and goes, hey, have you seen what Point Pro does? Oh, hey, Point Pro is doing this. Point Pro is doing that. I think that that's disrespectful. Even if it doesn't hurt my stream, I think it's disrespectful. And I don't, and like, you know, it's shitty. And especially if it's like a smaller streamer, I think it's like, it's just meh. I don't think it's awesome to go in and talk about other streamers. Mentioning like, hey, did you see this person go a record? Or hey, did you see this person picked up? That's different. Like, obviously you can talk about it, but when a focus just becomes like, hey, look at this, it can cross a line. And that's what I mean by it gets put in an awkward situation if you join a chat, and then because you joined, the entire combo becomes about that, because I don't want it to be about that. And I mean, like, I think it makes sense. Think about, I mean, it's the equivalent of, imagine you have a local burger store, right? You're just a local store working hard trying to grow your burger chain. And someone comes in and talks to other customers of how much they love this other burger chain. It's just kind of like weird. Like, you wouldn't do that in real life in front of the employee and the owner. You know what I mean? Like, in front of everyone openly in that regard. And it's just kind of like the same vibe where it's just like kind of weird. Also, that's one dungeon down. Linkus, have you ever used the forest water to kill this boss in a randomizer? Not in a randomizer. Back in the day when I was bad at speedrunning, when I was worse at speedrunning, I would, because there was an old Wind Waker route where you had a spare bottle and you could pick up the forest water, and there was only a 5-second time loss to picking up the forest water and killing him that way. And we didn't kill him with bombs, but we actually used to cut him down and kill him legitimately, the boss. But it was really hard to get all the quick spins in. I had a really hard, maybe I'm alone on this, but doing perfect quick spins takes some practice. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever tried this, but it takes some getting used to. If you're new to speedrunning, trust me, getting this down perfectly timed, it's hard. It's really easy to fail. It's kind of janky to do it. So, because of that, I would not have a perfect consistency, and I would occasionally fail it and have a straight up fail. And you lose so much time if you miss quick spins, because all you need is to miss one, and you don't get the Cali Demos one cycle on the GameCube version. So back then, I actually did use to pick up the forest water because I was like 5 seconds to guarantee a quick one cycle was worth it to me. But now the routes are changed, so you never have a spare bottle. Because those old routes actually used to go through all the cutscenes with Medley, get the delivery bag, and do all the quests. But no new routes would do that, so you would never have a spare bottle. And you would usually zombie hover up anyways, so... yeah, it's not really relevant anymore. Your content is legit gotten so much better over the years. I remember I used to struggle to watch your stuff, but recently I got to watch your YouTube videos a lot. Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, this thing called age really has its benefits and drawbacks. The benefits is I am more mature. The drawbacks is I feel like every week I discover a new muscle I didn't know I had, and I only discover it because I'll sit up and I'll be like, oh, that's sore. How did that happen? Yeah, it's one of these weird things. I think I'm not alone in this. I'm sure other people have experienced this, or people will maybe think the same way, where I don't really take care of myself historically, meaning like I don't do a lot of physical stuff, I don't eat well, and like I don't drink a lot of water, stuff like that. But ever since I started getting my health problems, I now take care of myself so well that even though I don't feel well, I am the most healthiest I have ever been. Like, I eat and exercise and do everything as perfectly as you can. I am actually so healthy, and it's so unfortunate because I probably could have avoided the health problems to begin with if I did it to begin with, but it's just human nature. It's like, until you have problems, you don't care, you know what I mean? So, before I had the problems, didn't care, I just ate fast food every day, I didn't move, I didn't drink water, but now it's like, I try and do cardio, I eat healthy food. I eat fast food now probably once a week. Like, I cook home and eat healthy meals. And I try and also eat nutritiously, not just eat at home. And I also drink water now, which I didn't used to do, so... like, there's just a lot of things where it's unfortunate, because I started to only really take care of my health once things went downhill. Exactly. It's so much better if you can be proactive, but it's so hard because, like, surely that won't happen to me, but then it happens, and then it's like, well, oops. How much coffee do you drink these days? About 1 cup a day. Sometimes, if I'm really crazy, 2 cups, but I don't really drink much coffee anymore. It's hard. I also cut down on soda. I don't drink soda with every meal. I have just a lot of water. It sucks. And tea. The non-caffeinated tea. Like, I have a lot of peppermint tea and stuff like that. Oh, another Triforce piece. Nice. Okay, 1 more item chest, and then we're going to do Helm Rock. This was actually pretty solid there. That made it worth it to go here.
Health is important. That's why Linkus7 takes care of his with insert sponsor here. I love insert sponsor here because I feel so good when I wake up in the morning. With insert sponsor here, nothing will stop me from getting world records and gaining critical acclaim. Smile.
Do you want to know something sad, Chad? I hope that it's legit. Here's something you might not know, speaking about insert sponsor. This month, April 2025, will be the first month where I am not uploading a YouTube video in 3 years. I have uploaded at least one YouTube video a month, every single month, for 3 years. I've never missed a month. But Manscaped actually did not renew this quarter. I've been sponsored with Manscaped every month for 3 years, but they did not renew for this quarter. They said that they would be open to negotiation for quarter 3 and 4, but they didn't want to do quarter 2 because performance was down in terms of, like, you know, how many people use the link and order the products. So it's gonna be like the first time I'm having a bit of a break. Why don't you upload a meme video? I was going to upload a video anyways because I actually have a video in the works right now, but I am going to wait because, well, one, I got sick earlier this month, but two, I actually, believe it or not, in a weird way, I'll be sad if they don't renew for quarter 3, but I'm actually kind of okay with a small break from sponsors or YouTube videos because I'm going to be so busy when the Switch 2 comes out, which is what, in 35 days or something like that now? Like, it's not in a long time. I'm going to be so busy with content, so busy when the Switch 2 comes out, that I'm kind of slightly embracing it because I'm kind of like, well, it does suck, but at the same time, in a month when the Switch 2 comes out, I'm going to be pumping out, I mean, in that first week of launch, I'm probably going to do a minimum of 4 videos. Like, I'm going to do so many videos in the first month of the Switch 2. It's probably going to be one of my most active months of uploading content, so I'm kind of just okay with taking it a little bit calm before the storm hits. What if the lawnmower 4.0? You know what's funny? The thing that it was so good is I did Manscaped for so long that I don't have to do a script because I have all of them memorized by heart. I don't even need like bullet points anymore. I just did it too many times. Like, let me know if this sounds familiar, chat. You know, I've been working with Manscaped for a while now. But did you know that they're currently launching a brand new color for my favorite trimmer of all time, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra? Now, this trimmer is amazing. Not only does it have this super slick design with USB charging, it's waterproof, but also it has the skin-safe 2.0 technology, which means you're not going to get any nicks or cuts when using it. But that's not what sets it apart from the competition. What really makes this special is the fact that it has interchangeable blades. You can use it either like it comes with its default trimmer, or you can swap it out to the foil blade, like Helmrock just soft locked just now. That sucks. I hope it gets, on loose? No? Oh, no. I think we might have to restart. That's really rare and unlucky, but it can happen. Oops. That's unfortunate. Can I, like, go from above and attack him, you think, to, like, unstuck him? Let me see. With the foil blade. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, be sure to check it out right now to go to manscaped.com/Linkus7 or use promo code Linkus because you will get 20% off plus free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Check it out right now by going to manscaped.com/Linkus7. And they have 30-day back guarantee. Anyways, that's not paid, that's not sponsored. Also, no need to use the link, it's not active right now. But point being, I can finish the whole thing. I, like, have no problem. Like, that is not... I had such an easy time to make them.
And looks like it's time to...
Anyways, I don't think I can activate him. I think he's actually straight up soft locked. It can happen. I haven't happened in months. Have anyone seen it before? I say every time I do it that there's a chance he can soft lock. but it never happened, so I just stopped saying it. We have to come back, though. Anyways, I haven't seen that in a few years, but yeah, there is a small chance it comes from an angle and he soft locks. Years, yeah. For people who watch my streams all the time of Wind Waker, I think you guys can agree, I have not had that in actual years. That's not an exaggeration. I cannot think of the last time I've had him soft lock. I can guarantee you it's never happened since COVID. It was pre-COVID guaranteed since I had that happen. So it would be more than 5 years, 100%. I know I had it happen back when I practiced and learned the trick originally back in like 2013 or 14. No, this was right, 2015. And I'm sure I had it maybe one or two times after that. I know I have gotten it one time in a speedrun after that, after I learned it, but yeah, not sense. This is nothing like the streamers I usually watch as Twitch chat. I hope that's not possible. Why do you not play the HD version as much? I honestly just kind of got burnt out because it was the main version I played for so many years, so I just switched to playing the GameCube version. I'm having fun with that. Sometimes I think, oh, I want to come back to HD, but it's like, it's hard because there is a part of me... Oh, no. What is happening? Dude, I never have this not work. Please tell me he's gonna come back. Patched? Okay, thank you. But yeah, there's some times where I think I want to return to Wind Waker HD. The reason I haven't done it in recent times is because I got so burnt out of Wind Waker HD that anytime I have re-picked it up, last time I think was 3 years ago now, but anytime I've tried to re-pick it up, I can just feel that feeling of burnout so quickly. It comes back so fast. And the reason it doesn't happen on GameCube, I think, is because there is a bigger that's a hard word for me. Variety? Whatever, you know what word I'm trying to say. In between the categories. Because storage lets you do more things in different orders. While for Wind Waker HD, because of how item sliding is structured, the first, basically, hour of every category is the same. Like, it just is. Like, any percent is the same for the first 30 minutes, and then it changes. And for all the other categories that are, like, in between or 100%, they're pretty much still the same for the first hour. So it just gets very stale and repetitive, more than the GameCube version does. So since I'm already, like, a bit burnt out of it from the past, it doesn't take a lot to feel like, oh boy, I'm burnt out. Okay. Let's mark off the dungeons. Would you ever return to Ocarina of Time? Ocarina of Time is a game where I have wanted to return for a long time, but it's... I think the thing that makes me not return to a lot of video games is the fact that most video games that I speedrun are really hard. And, like, OOT is a perfect example of that. The amount of times that I think, man, I would love to return to Ocarina of Time is probably 3 or 4 times a year. But you cannot play Ocarina of Time casually. You have to do it dedicated full time, and the first month is gonna suck. For a very simple reason. The setups and the structure of an OT speedrun are not muscle memory. They're just not. Go into this corner, ESS turn 2 times to the left, target, side hop, neutral roll, roll, backflip, side hop, backflip and pause buffer, second frame takeout stick, third frame jumps, like, you know, you get what I mean. Like, that's generally how the speedrun is structured overall. You can't do it casually. It's just impossible to memorize it. I can't do it. I cannot do any of those setups and not do it, like, close to full time. Like, I need to give it my all-in attention. And that's just been the problem. So I cannot just go back to OT and do it for like here and there. I would have to go back. I would have to grind it for a month to really get it down. And then I could maybe go to speedrunning it like 2 times a week. But I kind of have to keep it up because it goes away very quickly. And even disregarding the setups and everything, I got him to despawn. It's also just a hard run. And it's long, because the only category of OT I want to run is 100%, because I'm crazy. So, it's also long. And I refuse to do SRM. He actually full out despawned. So there is a small chance that the Goron can get stuck underneath the ocean. So the Goron has a... Dude, I'm so unlucky with crazy unlucky things that can happen. So the Goron in this game right here, I never got the flower. Never mind, it's my fault. Well, it's both faults. I A, don't have the flower, and B, the Goron spawned under there. So the Goron, if you don't know, he has a spawn set point, but the raft spawns where the water level is, which is not always the same. So if you load Greatfish when the water level is higher, and the Goron's collision is inside of the raft, he gets teleported to under the ocean. This is just to balance out the baby seed, Linkus? Yeah, exactly. Linkus, how was your Switch 2 pre-order experience? Stressful, but it worked out. I went online to all the websites I was going to go for, which was Best Buy, Target, and Walmart. I made accounts preemptively for all of them. And I pre-added my address and credit card information all at once. And then I set up all websites on 3 monitors, and starting 5 minutes before midnight, refresh. And I started spamming those refreshes. I actually think, even though it took a long time, my favorite experience for pre-ordering was actually Walmart. Even though the queue took a long time, I liked that they did a proper queue system. Target was the biggest mess for sure out of all of them. Target was awful. That website kept going down. It kept, like, failing to check out. Sometimes it would load, sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes you'd add it to the cart. You opened the cart, you got an error. And it was just terrible. Best Buy started off as bad as Target, and then it seemed like, for me, it was awful. It didn't work. And then, like, 20 minutes after pre-orders should start, like 20 minutes past midnight, then they seem to start doing a ordering system with a queue similar to Walmart. I don't know why it wasn't like that from the start. So Best Buy was awful for 20-30 minutes, and then a queue system started that actually kind of worked. I did not try GameStop since I was able to get one the night before. I heard that a lot of people had really good experiences though with in-person GameStop experiences. Like, from what I understand, Nintendo actually got a lot of supply this time, because most people I talked to that went in person to the GameStops said that it wasn't too stressful. They had a good amount of them, and there wasn't like crazy lines or anything like that. Let's see what he has now. Linkus, have you heard of the new puppet cannon out of bounds method in Wind Waker? Yeah, I did hear about that. I mean, cool, but... So if people don't know, by the way, there is a way now that you can do an easier puppet cannon skip for any percent in Wind Waker HD that was just released. The reason I didn't make a video or a big thing about it is because it is basically just a new way so you can go out of bounds without the hook shot, meaning you basically now can just do the RNG fire arrow 30% chance like method that you do in all dungeons in 100%. So it is exciting, but it's also like, did we really need another RNG element in any percent in Wind Waker? Like, do we not have enough categories with that? So it's like a bit exciting, but it's also like, come on, bro. But I do think for people that grind or didn't want to do the zombie hover method, it is cool that we have a different option. So I think it's like a partial bit, you know? Alright, I'm gonna go to Minecraft Isle. And then let's do Tower of the Gods. It's better odds than the old any percent puppet cannon skip. I don't know if I would agree with that, MC, because from my understanding, the RNG, if you did the setup perfectly, was actually not too bad. It was mostly that it was just so hard to execute perfectly. But if you were to do perfect hovering and perfect manipulation going up in the air and perfect bomb manipulation and dropping and stuff like that, to my understanding, the luck was not too bad. It was just so hard to perfectly execute it. However, wouldn't it still be slower so you can't do it for world record, MC? Like, wouldn't the zombie hover still be not world record possible since the new skip doesn't go straight to the end, so you'd still have to do a more hover?
Of the way to 100.
The new skip is faster. Wait, really? Wait, don't you have to do an extra morph hover? Even with an extra morph hover, it's still faster? The zombie hover took that long? That's crazy. I actually did not know that. I thought it was slower for sure. Ship chart, okay. Thank you, Icicle, for the 75 on 3 sub. 3/4 of the way to 100. That's true. The glass is way more than half full. All right, let's go to Tower of the Gods. We can do everything there. We can actually do full dungeon clears now. It would be faster if I can find fire and ice arrows, but we should be able to kind of start doing the dungeons now. So let's do it. Have you actually become a Nintendo dev, Melon, or are you just like making a meme? Because I can't tell, because like the first part seems serious, and in the second part, you talk about Wind Waker HD on the Switch too, which like makes me think that it could be a meme. Are you winning, son? Yo, that's awesome. Congratulations, Malin. Are you working for a third-party company that makes games for Nintendo, or are you working actually at Nintendo? Either way, congratulations, but I'm curious. My company actually, that's awesome. Congratulations. Make really good games, and I will support it. And if you make really bad games, then I'll still support you, but I will not promise I'll play it. So make the good one. Okay, big key. Treasure chart. If you make bad games, just make them immediately bad, true. Make sure that everyone really just knows that, like, yeah, this was, like, made intentionally bad. Oh, really? That didn't work? Oh, that's unfortunate. I almost never do floor 1 skip from the side, but I thought, why not? Hey, we made it. What is this link? Let's see here. Caro Quest 64. Oh, this is so cute. Collection 3D platformer inspired by other game genres, especially from the late 90s. That was awesome. It does look. You should make somehow a port of it to the actual N64. We tried, but it's a no-go. Yeah, I understand. I mean, it would be hard, but it would just be cool. It gives me, I can't think about it. It gives me, what's that frog platform N64 game I'm thinking of? Frogger? Is that what it's called? Is that literally the name? I feel like it's too simple, but maybe it is. Are you going to Games Done Quick this summer, Linkus? No, I will be way too busy this summer because of the launch of the Switch 2. I'm also not really going to any events because I'm having to be on such a special, like, diet, and I want to be close to health stuff right now while I'm still figuring it out. So I think I'm putting all events on the back hold right now. Dude, I cannot wait in a one way for this randomizer to be done. Not because I'm not having fun, but just because I can't stop thinking about that pizza, dude. I'm so hungry. I ate at 10 in the morning, so I'm getting hungry, and I didn't have a huge breakfast, so can't stop thinking about that pizza. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty good. I'm feeling slightly hungry, but other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. I am slightly lower energy than I would usually be, but that's just because I've had a cold and, like, I'm just starting to get better. So I think my body is just, like, a little bit more tired than usual, but otherwise I'm good. Can I have a slice of the pizza? You know what? I never finish it anymore, so I will give away 2 slices. So you can have one, and then chat can decide who gets the other slice. Yeah, I feel like it's unfair to get a cold in April, like late April. It feels like we should be past that season, but it was not. I actually felt so gross this time, though, when I got a cold, because I had something that I normally never have. I had the runniest nose I think I've ever had from a cold. I've had runny noses, never like this. It hit a point where I just literally could not blow my nose or fix it, and I could not handle it. So I just accepted my fate. So I just put on a hoodie I didn't care about, and I just had to be like, okay, it's gonna drip on my shirt, and there's nothing I can do. I just had one super gross day where I was like, okay, that's it. I'm laying in front of the TV, in bed, And I'm just gonna let things happen for a day. Weather is really weird and it shouldn't be now, but allergies going crazy. I don't actually, so I've never had a pollen allergy. What is is pollen around basically 3 out of 4 seasons when trees are going crazy, or 2.5? Or is it only in the spring when they're like blossoming? Imagining opening a pizza box and it's been randomized. I actually almost had a randomized pizza once. Way back when stream was smaller, I don't know why I let this happen. It was a huge mistake. I was starving. And I was going to order a pizza on stream. And chat was like, oh, can we pick the ingredients? And I said, I was like, yeah, sure. $5 donation and you can pick the ingredients. And we did it in such a way where if you donated $5, you DM'd one of the mods with the ingredient. I didn't know what the ingredient was. And then he put it on the pizza. And once this pizza was done, I am telling you, I was so sad because I was starving. The pizza finally showed up. I didn't know what to expect. It was the most disgusting pizza. I didn't even have a slice. I had half of a slice and I couldn't eat more. And in people's defense, what the hell is happening? In people's defense, I believe that most people pick the ingredients that they like. The problem is everyone likes different things. So it was the combination of the pizza. So I'll just let you know what we had. First, 4 different kinds of cheese. So it was very cheesy. Then, peanuts. Then there was curry. Then there was ham. Then there was pepperoni. Then we got anchovies. Then we got pineapple. And then there was like onion. And then there was sweet corn. And I'm just telling you, the combination of the salt from the anchovies with the curry spice, with the sweet salt, like the sweetness of the corn mixed with the sweetness of the pineapple, it was just like, it just tasted like pure salt and spice and sugar. All in one bite. It was the worst combo thing I had ever tasted. It was awful. And greasy on top of all of that. It was disgusting. So I'm just telling you right now, love you, Chad. I'm never letting you pick pizza toppings ever again. Your takes are awful. Maybe individually they're not awful, but when you come together as a team, it does not go well. Are you... Okay, I cannot play with these statues. I feel like I am so attached to this gap, dude. I am more dedicated to these gaps than I am to my... Baba at this point. Like, baba. Oh my god, and he noticed me. Die. Die, please leave me alone. I'm not molding, sorry. We're doing good. Cave diver moments, exactly. Have you guys ever seen that YouTuber? I was so addicted to him. I went down a rabbit hole. I watched his content for like a week straight, all his videos. He talks about cave diving gone wrong. That's his whole thing. He just talks about cave diving or diving in caves in the water. And like he talks about like the stories of how it goes wrong. It's both like so intriguing and scary at the same time. It's scary, interesting, exactly. Linkus is kind of quiet compared to the game. Actually, you are right. The game is kind of loud. I'll lower it a bit. A wimba whip, a wimba whip, a wimba whip, a wimba whip. Better. Say something loud. Something loud. You know what's crazy, Chad? We forgot to save Grandma. We got a bottle and I never saved her. We can go at... Okay, if you want to, we can go, Chad, after this dungeon, but before we go to Wind Temple, okay? We are not quitting the dungeon. I'm not going through all of Tower of the Gods again just to save Grandma. Like 5 minutes faster. That ain't happening. Okay, finally a good item. This dungeon has been dry. Like nothing has been happening. Some grandson you are. Hey, listen. She doesn't even give me cookies anymore. How do you expect me to feel? Did you see the Wii homebrew news, by the way, Linkus? This might be the end. What do you mean? What? Just happened. I actually need to go back in and out because I actually need more magic. The homebrew channel code was stolen and built on lies. What does this even mean? Like, you mean like... But do you mean like people are still updating it? Or do you mean like 10 years ago when people... 15 years ago when people started doing this homebrew? It was like, what? The homebrew channel has ceased development. A developer alleges that key figures in the Wii homebrew community stole code from Nintendo and other projects. The Wii homebrew community was built on top of piles of lies and copy. Wait, what? Oh wow. At least, okay, like in a homebrew sense, the code has been out for so long, I don't think it will be hard to find. But that is crazy. I do know other projects that work on homebrew. Whenever there is a leak, they always make it super clear. They don't even want to see the code because they don't want to do any copying of any code because it would be a huge copyright infringement. So that's crazy that for this whole time, they were actually using stolen code to make it. Because you know Nintendo is on it like that. That is the one thing Nintendo will always like, because they always try and find ways to take down homebrew or emulators by finding like, oh, you used our code, or oh, you used our key, or oh, this means you must have looked at something you shouldn't have. Well, Nintendo, I'm innocent. It's that guy. Yep, him. Yep, that's him. Not me. I didn't do nothing. Don't look at me. I'm innocent. I'm good. Nope, I'm never homebrewed. Nope, I'm good. Yep, no, it's him. Him right there. Not me. I did nothing. That's also so sad, though, because I promise you, I think the Nintendo Wii is probably the best and most popular and most used homebrew in the world. Because the Wii was not only like one of the best-selling consoles of all time, the homebrew unlocked so much capability, and more importantly, I think like so many people did it more than other consoles because it was so easy to do, and it was so convenient, and it was so relatively safe in terms of like, there wasn't a good chance you were gonna brick your system or damage it, or it would be like different, or it would interfere with anything casual. Wii Homebrew has just been around for so long. It has been so steady, so consistent, gave you so many opportunities, so many features. That is very unfortunate. Ractor, I have a very important questions about a castle. If I were to buy a castle, right, an old one, not renovated, just a classic old castle, how would the bathroom situation work? And would I have a shower? Bucket for both? No, I bet if you have a big enough castle, they probably just like made a toilet, but it's just like a hole that either goes under the castle or just goes straight outside of the borders of the castle. So it just goes out there. I guarantee you, the rich people probably did something like that where they're like, oh, whatever, it's just out there, it doesn't matter. Kind of like the cities did. Or maybe you're just rich enough where you can do the bucket and just pay someone to do it for you. Old castles had special rooms called Kadiruabs. That's so funny. Which would extend over the walls of the castle, so the waste would fall down. Nice. Okay, what if, though, you would, like, what if you were out on a walk? Like, could you get unlucky? Is this, like, could, like, a bird situation happen? You know what I mean? Like, am I having to watch out here? Yeah, we actually, in Sweden, we use the word garderob, still. It's, that means closet. We use that word for closet, so. I'm very familiar with that word, specifically.
Link us swag.
Yo, thank you for the 77 months. I really appreciate that. That is such a long time. Thank you so much. Linkus knows a lot about closets. I, no meme, lived in one for 18 years. My parents do not have a lot of money, so when I, the third kid, came around, my parents said, let's take this closet and let's make it into the tiniest room you can imagine in the whole world. And that was my room for the first 18 years of my life. So my room was an actual closet. It was so hot, and when I eventually ended up getting a PC and I started using that, so oh yeah, Grandma! Wait, you're right, we can't do Wind Temple yet, we gotta save Grandma. But yeah, it was not a great time. My parents made me live in the closet sounds really bad out of context. Take that as you will. Let your imagination go wild. At least it was warm in the winter, right? That is true, it was. You are a wizard? Yeah, honestly, it's kind of unfair that, like, I didn't end up like Harry Potter. Like, what the hell was that all about? I thought the key was the closet. Yeah, the legal definition of a bedroom I always find to be really strange, because that was something I noticed where, I found it to be really weird that when we bought our house, they were like 2 bath, 4 bed, one, what was the name used? Entertainment room. And I went, what the hell is the difference? And it was that legal definition. They couldn't legally call the other room a bedroom because it did not have a window. So even though it is actually bigger than some of the other bedrooms, because it does not have a window, they cannot legally classify it as a bedroom. Which, by the way, as a degen, I find to be strange because I don't care about a window at all. And if anything, it's nice. I don't need blackout curtains if I were to live there. So I do not care, but personally, but I guess some people really like a window. Note to mom. Isn't that kind of sweet, chat, that grandma gave us a note to mom? Let's mail it immediately and see what that gives us. Thanks, grandma. I don't know why she didn't mail it herself, by the way, straight to mom. I don't know why she mailed me a letter to mail to mom, but we'll take it. Basically, Grandma gave us 50 rupees. Grandma gave us a letter, and that letter gave us 50 rupees. So not worth it. Grandma, I am sorry, but you just wasted my time, and I am not happy. That was very mean.
Of course Mr. Linkus47 would start stream when I'm at work.
Ungrateful, you are... What do you mean? I wanted a sword, or light arrows, or a Triforce piece. I find it to be funny that the Swedish tax agency defines your home address as the place where you most often spend your time sleeping at night. Sweden is super strict because with its tax rules, some of the strictest in the whole world, because so many social benefits, such high tax rates, and they need to make sure they get their tax revenue. So they have such insane rules for every situation to basically guarantee that you cannot commit tax fraud. Or, I shouldn't say tax fraud. You know how in America, rich people don't commit tax fraud? They find legal loopholes that are legal but not intended, but like there is not much you can do. Sweden basically looked at that and said, let's make sure you can never do that. So they will have a rule and a counter rule and an if this, then this rule for every situation you can imagine, like everyone. It is ridiculous if you go to their website and you start reading, because they will have a step-by-step thing, and if you have questions, they will have more detailed answers. And you cannot claim you didn't know because it's your responsibility. And they have it all on their website and every question and every situation. And to make sure it's like transparent, it goes as far as like, for example, under donations, there will be a tab for online video creation, specifically answering every question you might have if you make content. Like, even something specific that is not mainstream will do. So if you're a content creator in Sweden, they will have literal pages and pages of how to do your Twitch revenue, your YouTube revenue, your donation revenue, your merch revenue, your everything. Like, they have everything for every category, everything. Like, they update the terms every 5 years for every single industry. So every 5 years, they pick a couple of industries and they update all the terms for all of them. And then at next 5 years, they go for another one and spend those 5 years doing it. So they go hard. So it's like, I mean, okay, it's good if you want to pay high taxes, but it's bad if you want to get away. I actually will say though, I used to like that it was so open, transparent, and so strict until I moved to America. Because the rules that they have in place to be strict, to try and avoid people from avoiding paying Swedish taxes, made it so much harder for me to live in America. Because I have to send so much documentation proving so much to show that I really am in America, to be like living here and not to avoid the taxes. And I can, for the rest of my life, because I lived in Sweden for the first 18 years, I can never have a company that's Swedish, have an apartment that's Swedish, have a house that's Swedish, because even if I live in America, because my previous standings, if I get those, it would consider a connection to Sweden, and it could be seen as, well, maybe I have that so I can live in America for 186 days of the year, so it's just barely above 50%, you know, so I'm trying to avert it by just barely being under the minimum. So for me, it's really annoying because it's very strict with my travel and with my rules now. So like, I will say that it is Sweden's hard approach. That's awesome. Sweden's hard approach is good for 95% of situations. But does that make sense? But because of their strictness. But if you're in this weird 5% category I am in, where like, I'm a rare case. I moved out of Sweden. I legitimately want to live in America, but I want to spend time in Sweden too. Then the strict rules to try and avoid cheaters, unfortunately, impact me really badly. So I don't have as much freedom. So like, if I wanted to have let's say like, hey, I want to stay at my parents', or I want to have an apartment where I can spend this summer that's really hot in Texas and Sweden, I cannot do that. Because even though I would not be not trying to commit a crime, they're so scared of people committing the crime that I just can't do it. So those are the times where like, I wish it was slightly less strict, but I can also understand. I'm a 1 in 100,000 case, because most people want to move to Sweden. Most people don't want to move away from Sweden, is my experience. I'm kind of the weird one here, so I guess that's just what I get. Oh yeah, I agree. I will say that I do think, I mean, let me put it this way. America works also better for 5%, but the 5% is, you know, the minority. So I do agree that I think the Swedish system is better if I had to pick one. Okay, I would lower the rates. They're absurd. But the hey, you can't cheat is awesome. Anyways, that's enough about taxes. I don't want to keep talking about taxes because I know that taxes often can lead to a crazy conversation that I do not want to have. So let's talk about the tax in Hyrule. Did you guys hear that Tingle recently started an IRS agency? It's called the Triforce chart. So hear this out. With the new update Nintendo released, to beat the game, you have to spend 4,000 rupees a playthrough to beat the game. Also, that's a really good item. I only need 2 more items to beat the game. The last Triforce piece will be from beating this dungeon. I need to find 1 more sword and 1 light arrow. We were so busy with the other combo, I didn't even mention the sword. But yeah, 2 more items. We're doing pretty good. My uncle works at Nintendo, and he said that if you put the Konami code in, you can get it for free. Really? That's awesome. Okay, let me try it. Up, down, left, right, A, B, start? Is that it? Oh no, I feel like that's not it. I don't remember. Oh no. Up, down, left, right, B, A, start. Okay, I was really close. I was really close, okay? Can we all agree with that? I was pretty spot on. I was pretty spot on. No? Okay. I guess we can't agree. What was I gonna do? I feel like my brain is not working. There was something I was going to do. I think I'm having pizza withdrawal. I think that's what's happening. I think because we haven't had any pizza today, my brain is like running in a low RPM. No, I think it's because I'm recovering from my cold, so my energy levels are not as high. I will say though, I actually really been happy to be back to streaming. Even if I'm getting a little bit more tired right now, I've actually been having a lot of fun. I know I can't, I don't know if I can stream tomorrow. I don't know, but I think I'm gonna do 2 more streams this week, 2 or 3. I wanna actually try and start getting into the habit. I know I might have something. Oh, light arrows. Okay. I know I might have something on Tuesday and Wednesday, but I shouldn't have anything on Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday. So I'm going to try and stream on the days where I don't have any appointments. All right, all we need, Chad, is 1 more sword upgrade, and we are in go mode. Because we already got... Didn't we get the boss key? We did, yeah. I just need 1 more item. Hi, Blue. Thank you for the good lucks. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hope we're doing good. Are you excited for Silk Song? I can't believe it, but, like... The Silk Song news are no longer feeling like copium. You know what I mean? Like, now when they update something on the store or a trailer changes, I'm like... Before, I was like, yeah, okay. But now it's like, oh? Why did you move to America, Linkus? There is a lot of reasons. But I will tell you the main one to make my answer short. I wanted to make my future wife, which now is my wife, happy. Maisie did not like living in Sweden. She missed America too much. Don't know why. Okay, I do like living in the States, but I also like Sweden. So like but I never expected an American to move to Sweden. But I also think it's one of those things where I think anywhere you live, you complain of what's bad. You know what I mean? I think if you live in America, you will complain about what's bad. If you live in Sweden, you will realize there are drawbacks to another system. I think that's really it. So I think like before Maisie moved to Sweden, she was so excited because, you know, fairly liberal, individual, super pumped. Oh yeah, Sweden. Everyone talks about wanting to be more like Sweden here in the US, And then she got to Sweden, and I think it just wasn't exactly the way that she had imagined it being. Where it wasn't bad, but it also wasn't like as perfect as, you kind of imagined it to be. Because like I said, I think it's easier to complain than... Because, like, when you look at, like, if you compare Sweden to America, right? Obviously, you're not going to look at the negatives. You're only going to look. So I think it was something she didn't like about Sweden. And also, I think that it was just a big cultural difference. I think she has missed home. Like, it didn't feel like home. I think that was something hard for her. So I think someone that is used to a very social culture and a very open culture, I think moving to Sweden and like we're very, like in Sweden, you don't look at someone you don't know, you don't talk to someone, you never small talk to anyone. You are by yourself and that's it. If you don't have friends from school, bad luck, it is gonna be almost impossible to make a friend because you do not talk or look or try and get to know anyone ever. Like, it is very isolated. Our culture in Sweden is very much like you yourself and that's it. And like, if you look at someone or if you talk to someone you don't know, Swedish people find it to be kind of weird. Like, that's just the culture. So I think as an American and someone very social like Maisie does those cultural things, which is kind of hard. Same in Norway. Oh yeah, as someone who has been in Norway a lot, yeah, like that's generally the Scandinavian countries. Okay, when I say Scandinavian, I mean the ones that matter, so Sweden and Norway. Denmark is a slightly more social, but not by a lot. And Finland is slightly more social, but not by a lot. But especially Norway and Sweden, so the ones that really matter. They're very, yeah, you're very isolated. Do you know what is weird, though, about the difference? One thing that is weird about the cultural difference in between Sweden and the US that I have noticed, even though Swedes are more non-social to strangers, I would say that family relationships are actually better than the States. I was shocked because I always felt from the movies like American families were so tight-knit and it was everything. Maybe it was like that in the past. I feel like that's not the case because the amount of family drama and things that Americans value that puts like problems in families are very American. Like, if you have different political views in America, I feel like that can completely ruin the dynamic and hanging out with family in the US. That can be like a huge stab through relationships. Or there's fighting or people don't like each other in a family or Thanksgiving becomes strange. Swedes do not care about that because Swedes really do value family. So even though strangers and randoms, you will be more isolated in Sweden, you will have a much closer relationship with your family pretty much no matter what. Obviously, you can find a family in Sweden where you don't like each other. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I just mean culturally and like overall. Family relationships are I feel like more cared for. Alright, I forgot to bring Makar here, so I had to do this whole climb to bring him back. Makar, I hope you're happy. But anyways, yeah. There's definitely differences. I will say, though, I think one other thing that does make the US very different from any European country when it comes to how often you see your family, not how good of a relationship it is, but how often you see it, is that people generally do not want to move away for work or job in Sweden. You usually stay where you grow up. America, I feel like that's not the same, where people are more willing to move out of state to get a good job or an education, and or they stay there or they move somewhere else. And America is so large, like, it's not many Swedes where you will never almost hear a Swede go like, hey mom, dad, I'm gonna get a job, and then you move to Spain. But that's basically the same as if a Californian said, hey mom and dad, I found something, I'm gonna move and get an education and a job in New York. Actually, it would be further. Like, it would be further. Like, you would never do that in Europe. Like, never. Like, if you move far away in Sweden, you're like an hour away. If you're within an hour drive in America, it's like, what, you're close. But like, you just also just like never move away. Like, that kind of disconnect is just not happening. But I think that's one, American work culture. You value work over family slightly more, but also two, bigger country, so it's kind of, it also just happens naturally. So yeah, just a bunch of small things like that that like don't get talked about but happens. But yeah, I also think the last thing that happened, and you can say you disagree, but I'm telling you, I think a lot of Americans are spoiled about this, because this is another thing. I'm going to slightly call out Maisie for this, but this is something that happened, and I think a lot of Americans would have a hard time with this. I think a lot of Americans want a Scandinavian-like system without wanting to pay for the Scandinavian-like system. What I mean by that is, like, Maisie is all like, oh man, free healthcare, man, all these free amenities, man, all of this is more automatic, man, this is all awesome. Then she got her first tax bill for her first year. Didn't make a lot of money. And it was like, oh yeah, since you're self-employed, you have to do the employer amount, that's about 20%, and oh, you're in the starting bracket, so it's only 30%, so effectively, you only paid 50%. And that's the starting one, and she died, and I was like, dude, look, I pay 70%, because I pay the 20 and then the 50. But the second she saw that as a normal worker with a normal-ass salary, it was like, yeah, 50% out the window, effectively. It was like, very quickly, the American very quickly went from this is awesome to no. So I think that's also a disconnect where, like, I think a lot of Americans really want the system, but a lot of Americans cannot swallow the pill of what it costs to get the system. I don't want to get in a situation on like what could and couldn't be done. I'm just saying, like, your dream system is expensive. It's got to come out of somewhere. How much do you pay for healthcare right now? I mean, okay, so it's weird. I will tell you this right now. I did the math. I did the math for Texas, and this math I did when I was going to move. And this was a kind of a math. But when I did the math on Sweden compared to the US a while ago, it will be different from every location, but there is a number where I would say that in terms of life quality, you roughly break even. Because even if you have to pay a lot for healthcare... Okay, that's go mode. That's go mode. Let's go. Even though you have to pay a lot for healthcare in America, there hits a point where your salary breaks even. I think my conclusion in a not super expensive area was that you would start to basically roughly be even in terms of power of freedom with your money and your expenses around, in a not too expensive area, around 70 to 80K. But that is considering you're not in an expensive city. But once you start making around 70 to 80K, then you're like breaking even, and anything more than that, you're better off in America. But it will be different than every other place. Because, I mean, let me put it this way. My effective tax bracket after all the write-offs in the United States was, I think, 21%. Which is stupid. My tax bracket in Sweden was 70%. So, like, even though I pay $600 a month for health insurance and have to pay everything out of pocket and have to do everything, my overall costs are way lower living in America. So, like, for me, it's cheaper. But, like, I don't think... So I don't think, like, there's a yes or no answer on which is better or not. I'll just say this. I think the American system would... This is my own opinion. I want to get into a discussion. But just on an own personal basis to end the combo, I think the American system is better if there was more safeguards for poor people. Or for people that didn't make as much. That's my biggest issue. My biggest issue is that there isn't enough safeguards to protect someone. Like, if you don't have health insurance, you shouldn't be able to go bankrupt. Or if you don't have something, you shouldn't be able to be destroyed for life. That's my issue. My issue isn't that, hey, it can cost more and packets are lower, because there is pros and cons to everything. I just wish there was more safety guards. That's really all I have to say about that. Otherwise, I mean, like, no, I think Sweden is too extreme. My dream is an in-between. My dream is an in-between. It's not Sweden extreme 70%. It's not 20%, you know? If you bumped everything 10% and then you made it better for everyone, I'd be happy. I wouldn't mind paying that. But that's also, like, because I have a hybrid of Texas and Sweden, so... What do I know? I'm a weird moderate who hates both parties, so... I'm not the person to come through for politics. I think all politics in America is stupid. Both sides are stupid. Give me a good third party. Then I'd be happy. Exactly. Let's get a switch then in here.
Oh, yes.
All right. Anyways, let's do this, chat. We're about to get our last Triforce piece. We got this Master Sword. We got the light arrows. And we're about to complete this seed. So let's do it. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm just curious. When you post feels way too good, so it's like a dank emote, did the audio get glitched, or are you just feeling that good that the PC cannot contain it? Like, what are we working with here? Link is asked about bathrooms. Okay. I'll ask you one castle question, Ractor. Could you full screen the stream over the next minute and just take it all in for me? Because it's castle time, baby. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. I am so excited to A, good randomizer, 2, good returning stream, 3, chat was awesome today so far, and 4, I'm getting so close to that pizza. We're just having W after W today, chat. Still 1.10. Wait, is there a new version of the randomizer? Yeah, tournament rules. Wait, is there a new version of the rando? Wait, Pog, hold chat. Wait. Are we going to do a new version next time? Hold. I'm trying to find it, but it's hard while playing. Wait, I got you baited. There isn't a new version. Wait, what the hell? There isn't. There's still only 1.10. I got one guide. What the hell? Dude. What do you mean you were just asking? You can't come in and say, oh, you're still on 1.10 when it's the latest version. That's just a debate. What the hell do you mean, like, you're just asking? What do you mean still? Do you think I downgraded? Do you think I sat around here and I was like, you know what? 1.10 is too good. I want some more bugs and less features. I'm gonna go down to 1.8. Like, what? What the hell? I've been out of the loop. Dude, come on. My bad. Don't worry. I won't hold a grudge. Chicken jockey? Wait, speaking of which, did anyone here go and see the Minecraft movie? Okay, for anyone who actually went to watch the Minecraft movie, is it not great like people are saying, or are people over-exaggerating? Because I'm seeing that it's performing well. But, like, in terms of how many people are watching it. But most people I know that are adults that watched it said that it was not a great movie. I understand if you're a kid, you'll still love it. It's Minecraft. You see Steve, you're like, oh, you see an Ender Dragon, you say, oh. Actually, I don't know if there is one in there, that movie. You get that. And sorry, to clarify when I say good movie, before people answer the question, when I say good movie, I understand that it's made for kids. But what I mean is, like, for example, the Mario movie was made for kids. I still think that's a good movie because it's good for both kids and adults. A good movie made for kids can still have some humor and plot that would still interest an adult. Like, that's what I consider a good movie to be. A lot of old classic Disney movies are great for both adults and kids. So, in that regard, how is the Minecraft movie? Yeah, like Toy Story is awesome, kid or adult. Damn. Genuinely a bad movie. I liked the Mario movie. I did not like the Minecraft movie. So, when you say it's a bad movie, do you think it's because it's catering too much to kids? Or, like, even for that standard, it's not incredible, but kids have a lower standard, so they will just like it because it's Minecraft? I am the same age as you, Lunkas, and I thought it was kind of fun. The jokes are mostly dad jokes. Nice. It just has bad plot and character development. It's a Jack Black film first, MC movie second, but Jack Black's awesome. Okay, let's see if we can get any Trog shots or Crypt shots. Hold. Damn it. That's okay. Washed. Wait, the Minecraft movie has a gun? Really want to see if we can get a trog shot. Damn. All right, no trog shot, chat. Sorry. Unfortunate. Washed. Washed. I guess this just means we have to play more, chat. We have to get back to it. One thing I still have to watch, I've heard a lot of people say that the Sonic movies are really good. I've not watched any of them. But I got kind of excited because so many people said that the third one with Shadow was so good and the other ones are good. So I should probably at some point try and watch them. To be honest, the first one, I just didn't watch out of principle because, like, the original Sonic movie looked like ass. Do you guys remember the original CGI they did? So when I saw how little they cared about Sonic when they did their original design, and then just because of the backlash, they ended up, like, changing him, like, the model, I kind of just took that as, like, okay, this is a quick, get some quick money, not great movie, and they just said, let's, like, we don't know anything about good story or video games, we're just gonna say Sonic to get money. So I just didn't watch it because I assumed that, hey, okay, even if they changed how Sonic looks, it's probably still ass. But then people said it was pretty good. Then the second one came out and people said it was really good. Then the third one came out and people say they love it. But now I'm like, so maybe I need to give it a chance? Speaking of a chance, GG, 224.09. Sonic 3 movie is clearly the best video game movie. Okay, well, I'll give it a look and I'll check it out. Anyways, GG, we did it! Did you get a Switch 2 pre-order, my guy? I did. I got that down. I got that down. We should be good. The Switch 2 pre-order sold out so fast that the GameStop website ended up crashing. I've heard some people say that. I guess it makes sense because I guess the night of, it was spread out over like 4 or 5 websites where people were trying to get it at different locations. But anyone who failed to get it that night all went to GameStop in that next morning. So I guess they had even more traffic than that night, than the night pre-orders. Hey Linkus, I just wanted to say there's been a lot going on in my life right now and your videos have really been cheering me up, so thanks for that and stay awesome. Yo, thank you for saying that. I hope things get better, by the way. Just know you're not alone. I've been dealing with some health problems myself, but I'm still kicking, so I hope things work out for you. For all of us. Anyways, chat, that being said, good stream! It was my pleasure being back to streaming and doing this Wind Waker randomizer. As long as we don't have a repeat and I somehow get super sick in the next few days, which I don't think has happened. I've been feeling great over the past few days, and I hope it continues this way. I'll be back. I'm going to go for, let's set a goal, at least 3 streams this week, okay? Let's start slow to make sure we're taking it slow with the health and not pushing it. So my goal is 3 streams this week. Let's do it. We're starting slow, making sure we can take care of it health-wise, but let's do 3 streams this week. Let's do it. Let's get back to usual. Things will be good. So I will be back. I will give you guys an update in, like, I just write a message in the content alerts on Discord when I'll stream next. I don't know yet because I don't know if I have an appointment or not, Tuesday and Wednesday. I still don't know. So I have to double check that. But yeah, I will let you guys know. I'll give you guys an update there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for the support and for coming by. I'm going to be honest, like, I know you guys are awesome, but just like a super quick thing, and I'm sure you can imagine this. It's like double anxiety that, like, you have health problems and it's making you not be able to work. So like, because you know, it's, you don't feel well, and then stress makes it worse, and then you feel stressed because you're not working, and then, like, you know, what's going to happen? I haven't streamed for forever. Numbers are going to go down. People still going to be around, or people still going to want to support me even though I'm not streaming as much. So anyone who's still supporting and watching, I appreciate y'all, and I'm sorry for the inconsistencies, but I'm hoping as things continue that it continues to get better. And I have been noticing an improvement in trends in terms of my health, so hopefully it continues in that path and doesn't get worse again, but we will find out. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to say that. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow, otherwise probably on Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday. So yeah, I'll see you guys within the next 3 days. Bye-bye. Thank you guys for watching. And thank you, Fixer, for the sub. Thank you, everybody, for the subs and the bits. I appreciate y'all. See y'all in the next few days. Bye-bye.